Hey guys, it's Caden, and welcome to another Autism Digest interview, where today, on the phone with me, we have Assemblyman of New York, representing the Schenectady and Albany areas, and the president of the Autism Retention Board in that state, Angelo Santabarbara. Thanks for coming on, Angelo.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. It's great to be here.
All right, so firstly, for those of you who don't know you, what's your story?
Well, my story, I grew up in the city of Schenectady. It's a neighborhood called Mount Pleasant, and both my parents, immigrants, they came here. My dad worked for General Electric in Schenectady for more than 30 years. And it was a challenging time back then for us. We didn't have much. My aunt, my grandmother, my parents, we all lived in one house. Nobody spoke English. I went all the way through the first grade without knowing the English language. I couldn't speak English until I was later on in school. In first grade, somebody realized that I didn't pick up the language, and it was because a lot of people in the neighborhood actually didn't speak the language either. But I got the help that I needed, and I was able to connect with some teachers, really good teachers, friends, neighbors that got me through that difficult time. And I ended up, once I got through school, I graduated. I joined the Army Reserve. I served for 8 years, and I wanted to be an engineer. I went to school for engineering. I actually worked in the field for about 15 years before I decided my passion had changed, and I wanted to go in a different direction. And when my son was born, my son Michael, he was born with a disability, born with autism, and it really changed my life. It set me in a new direction. I decided to go into advocacy. I served on the Autism Society of the Greater Capital Region. I served on their board, Family and Child Service, a number of other boards. And it led me to elected office at the Schenectady County Legislature. And eventually it led me here to the New York State Assembly. This year I'm actually chairing the committee, the Assembly's Committee on People with Disabilities. We've been able to advance a lot of legislation this year. We had some committee meetings, and looking forward to having a hearing. But I've been in office for about 12 years. This is actually 13 years this year. And each year I have an autism advocacy event. It's called Autism Action Day. I do sponsor a resolution recognizing April as Autism Acceptance Month. I had my son up at the Capitol to do that resolution. My son is certainly my inspiration. I call him my angel. He changed my life. He has taught me so many things, he's taught me more than I could ever teach him. My son is mostly nonverbal, but we have a special bond, a special connection. And it's a passion for me to fight for people with disabilities. I left engineering, a career that I worked on my entire life, to do this because I believe in it, and I think we need more advocates out there fighting for people that oftentimes cannot speak for themselves, people that have a number of different disabilities, challenges that we can make a difference through legislation, through funding. We've been able to do a lot of different things through whether it's the state budget or whether it's initiatives that I hear from my constituents. We've been able to pass and fund a lot of programs that I think are making a big difference. And sometimes it's not just legislation; it's also being in the community, supporting one another. Autism Acceptance Month is about acceptance and inclusion. At one time, it was autism awareness. Evolved into autism acceptance, and we are moving forward, but we have a lot more work to do.
Yeah, that was a lot. All of that sounds amazing. My next question for you is, how's your son inspired your advocacy work specifically? And as a parent of someone on the spectrum, what can be done more in this country for autistic individuals?
I think we've come a long way with initiatives. One of the things I worked on is autism training for first responders, for police officers, for firefighters, program that would help people understand, the disabilities that you may not. They're not physical disabilities, but things that you may not know of, you may not see. I think the New York State Disability ID card, is another bill that I passed that provides a disability ID card that can be used. I use it all the time for my son when we go through the TSA at the airport. It works quite well, actually. But in a number of different occasions, it describes on there what what the challenges are, whether it's being nonverbal or any other information you can put on it. It's something the state provides at no cost. We've thousands and thousands of cards have gone out, but my son, we're on a journey together. We've been on a journey. He's my best friend, and I'm his best friend. We're best friends, and we do everything together. I bring him out in the community. I bring him up to the Capitol, and I tell people, the learning happens outside the classroom. Sometimes that's the way to look at it. Is yes, there's learning in school in the classroom, but there's a lot of learning that happens in our community, and that's why it's important to expose every individual, regardless of ability, to all the things in our community, social interactions, and you learn about the world that way. And for me, I learn by interacting with other parents that face similar challenges. One of the things we worked on in one of the cities in Amsterdam, in my assembly district, is an all-inclusive playground, a sensory-friendly playground that everybody can use. And years ago, these things weren't thought of. And now, as we begin to move from that awareness to acceptance, there are things we can do to make the world more inclusive and more welcoming. My son teaches me these things because we experience these challenges, and I find that other people experience similar challenges, and sometimes it's different challenges, that things that perhaps people want to share with me, whether it's in a supermarket or on the community. And that's what becomes good legislation, when having these conversations with people and identifying what these challenges are and how can we make a difference. I just had my, during this month, April, Autism Acceptance Month, I have a series of events that I'm going to be doing. A lot of the sensory-friendly, that term was really widely unknown at one time, and now it's better understood why it's important. We had a sensory-friendly event at a local aquarium here in my hometown of Rotterdam to give people an opportunity to experience the aquarium during special hours, reduced light, reduced sound, special training for staff, some quiet spaces where people can take a break. Incorporating these things really makes a big difference, and a lot of the families come a long way to attend these events. We do another sensory-friendly event with one of our colleges, Siena College, sensory-friendly basketball game that is low noise, low light. They make adjustments, and you find that sometimes families, this is the first time they've ever gone to one of these events because they haven't been able to go because of the challenges. So these are things that, the more we make people aware on how they can make a difference, how they can be more inclusive, I think that's what's moving us towards. Sometimes it's not legislation and funding that is important, but sometimes it's just as important is what happens in our community.
I absolutely agree, and it's amazing that you're doing that. I was born in New York, and I would have killed to have some of those hours. My next question for you is for anyone, neurodivergent or not, who wants to get into politics or advocacy, what's your advice for them?
My advice is very simple: get involved. As I said, I bring my son with me to the Capitol sometimes. I bring him to my press conferences. I don't want. I have a daughter as well, and whatever I do with my daughter, I do with my son. They're both my kids, and I treat them both exactly the same. Michael does have challenges, but we can overcome those challenges. And I think the more people understand, the more we can. The more people understand about what autism and how to. The more people understand about it, the better the world can respond to making accommodations and things that are helpful to everyone. And so I think that people that want to get involved, I shared my story. I began serving on a local board, on the Autism Society board, on with some other organizations that were involved with disability rights, and you can get involved at any level. One of the first bills I ever passed in the state assembly was to create a New York State Autism Advisory Board, and that was 12 years ago. And that board, I just went to their meeting this week. That has self-advocates on the board. People can serve on boards like that and express, what they think would make a difference. How we can move New York in a direction to address challenges the way they see them. And I think that's important to get involved in. Even running for office, that's something that people should consider as well. And every time we have advocacy events, we have so many self-advocates come up to the Capitol, and I always encourage them to get involved at whatever level you feel comfortable with, and also engage your elected officials and share your stories, especially for self-advocates. Those stories are so powerful. Sharing your experience and how that real story affects people. I think that's what helps people understand, and it helps them advance legislation, funding initiatives, and it helps them get involved to understand as well. But perhaps, not all legislators are affected. Not all legislators may understand it, and sharing those stories are very, very powerful. So I encourage people to get involved at any level, and don't hold back. Whatever your passion is, follow that passion. At one time, my passion was civil engineering. That passion has changed now. My passion is to fight for people with disabilities, disability rights, making sure that we're making the world more accommodating, making sure that people with disabilities have every opportunity that everyone else does, and to be as independent as possible, and to participate in everything that's available to them in their community.
Yeah, that's a beautiful statement you just made. I'm serious. Yes, that was extremely powerful, sir. My last question for you is, what does the future hold for you, do you think? Do you have any events coming up that you want to plug? Any resolutions? Could we see you running for New York State Governor in the future?
There's always legislation. I introduce a new package of legislation every year, and I just had my Autism Action Day at the state capitol. We unveiled new legislation, and the legislation can vary anywhere from making sure, one of the bills I was talking about is making sure this year I have a bill that's a communication bill of rights that ensures that things that are considered communication devices, whether that's a spelling board or an iPad or whatever the case may be, making sure that those things are protected under law and that it cannot be taken away for any reason. So that's something that I want to make sure we have in statute. So I think that's a bill that's very important. There from that bill, we talk about making sure that our hospitals have medical personnel have an understanding of autism. So we have a bill that encourages that. To make sure that the training happens in our medical field as well. I have a bill that, we just talked about the playgrounds, a bill that ensures that in the future, any playground that is replaced or any playground that is built is designed with accessibility standards in mind, sensory-friendly standards in mind. There's no reason that shouldn't happen. We all understand what this is. The playgrounds that we've been able to install here in my assembly district are accessible and sensory friendly and ADA accessible for people in wheelchairs with physical disabilities. Those things are available, and anytime we're looking at a public playground, those things should be included. But there's a series of bills. Those are just a few. I have 10 new bills this year that I'm looking forward to taking up later in the session. And I encourage people to visit my website, under Assemblyman Angelo Santabarbara. You'll find my website. You can find the Autism Action Package, the 2025 Autism Action Package of bills. But there'll be more as well, because the more I hear from people, the more people send me emails, calls, however they feel comfortable communicating. The more I hear from people, the more legislation and things we can think about doing. The more I hear about what's happening in your community. Everyone's experience is a little bit different, but the more I hear from people, the more we can address those challenges. So I encourage people to contact me, visit my Facebook page. I'm on all the social media platforms, Instagram, LinkedIn. They can contact me in a number of ways, but I want to hear from people those conversations. Like I said, some of the best legislation has come out of conversations at a supermarket. So, hearing from people is the most important thing, and that moves us forward. And we've done a lot of work this past 12 years. I think we've advanced in so many ways: workforce development, education, early diagnosis, in all fields. But we need to keep pushing forward because we got much more work to do.
Amen to that. All of that sounds great. Thank you so much to Angelo Santabarbara for coming on. That's going to do it for this interview, guys. Sorry it was a bit unique. There were some technical difficulties with StreamYard today. But hopefully next week's interviews go well. If you guys want to see more inspiring stories, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Autism Digest YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for having me.